Got the coffee shop love.
All the best people are crazy. All the best people are.
What's up, crazies? My name's Jessie, and welcome back to my channel. Hey guys, as you might have already noticed, I have a guest today, and she wants to tell me something. You didn't have to. I figured it was time for another Crazeful's Coffee Corner.
So enough with this introduction. I'm going to be telling you all some of my
Again.
school stories.
Okay, so first story. In the 6th grade, there was this one girl. I don't know why or how, but we had like a major fight or something like this. From what I know, she did not come from the healthiest family. She had a lot of issues. It got really bad to a point where she threatened to fight me, like a fist fight or something. And then I went to my teacher and told him that, and then he screamed at her in front of the entire class, and that made her cry. And then the weirdest part about this, after that whole thing, we became friends.
Run.
So I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I, in my school career, switched schools after 10th grade. When I was thinking about switching, I went to that school that I would later go to. And the headmistress talked to us, and then she was like, well, you know, if your daughter comes here, we actually have an exchange planned with our partner school in Canada, in the French-speaking area. And it's for all of those students that had French. The only problem was that I never had French in school. I had 4 years of Latin. You know, that language nobody speaks. But the teacher was like, that's fine, she can go anyway. So I went as the only person not speaking French. And all the tours were in French. And I didn't understand a word, but it was still fun. And one time we went to this laser tag place arena. It was really fun. And after this trip, my teacher asked me, hey, do you want to like write an article for the yearbook? So I did, and I mentioned the laser tag, but then I was called into her office and she was like, what were you thinking? You can't mention the laser tag. It's such a violent game.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
We cannot promote violence in our yearbook. So I had to change the article just because she thought that laser tag was too violent to be mentioned. In 10th grade, I had this English teacher who was very arrogant and thought he was better than the entire human race. So I was really good in English, and he, I don't know, didn't like me or something. So he would provoke me by always giving me B's, and I would be 1 or half a point short from the better grade. For the last exam, it was about like a book that we read. I'm not gonna say which book, but I hated that book. And so for this last exam, I was like, whatever, I don't care which grade I'm gonna get. And then there was one question in this exam, and it was, write down why, insert book title here, is perfectly worth reading. And I was like, I hated this book, and it wasted like my entire time. So I wrote down that the book was boring, it had not good characters, they were incompetent of human interaction, the story was lame AF, but my last sentence was, if one likes to enjoy reading a book with no plot and really lame characters, this book is perfectly worth reading. And guess what? I actually got an A. And the funny part was, for the language part, how I expressed myself, for vocabulary and whatever, I got like the full score. But like for the content, I got like only 1 point or something. That taught me a valuable lesson that even though things might look grim and dark, there's still hope.
That was deep.
So in 6th grade, I had physics for the first time, and I was not that good at it, but I had a friend who was. There was one exam where there was this one task that I had no clue what to do. And so I apparently looked very panicked and stressed, and my friend next to me noticed that. She looked over and she gave me like these signs, and I was like, what the frick is she doing? She signaled me that, come on, let's switch the papers. And so while the teacher was not looking, which was not hard because one of his eyes went in this direction, the other one went in this direction, so he couldn't really see what was going on there. And so while he was looking away, we swapped papers, and she she finished my exam for me, and she had really nice handwriting and my handwriting is horrible. So she tried very hard to have horrible handwriting just so it looked like I wrote or finished that test. The teacher didn't notice. I'm just admitting this right now. I got a C on the test thanks to my friend. Shout out to you, Christina. I do not recommend this at all, kids, right? Always be good students. Unless the teacher's not looking. So this next story is actually a story from my years in elementary school. So that was a long time ago. When I was in elementary school, these things did not exist. And I'm not talking about the book. I'm talking about this girl. I'm just kidding. I think I was in 2nd grade where our teacher was like, let's make a wall of little letter boxes or mailboxes that we made out of like empty toilet paper rolls. So we crafted those, it was fun, yada yada yada. But the problem was, for me, I didn't really have any friends. So while all the other kids got like mountains and loads of letters, I received none.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Except those, and this is very sad, I wrote to myself. And they were not just any letters, they were love letters. This one time we were all in the chemistry lab. I think we had like a breakfast or something, and so that day it was someone's, I think, 18th birthday or something, and where I live you can drink when you're 18. They all came to school either tipsy or just completely drunk. There was this one kid that was so drunk that he actually threw up in the lab, like onto the floor. My teacher called him out. What name should I give him?
Thomas.
Thomas.
Thomas! I'm Thomas!
Okay, so Thomas, please come to the front. Come out. So he came out to the front. He was like, "What? What's wrong? I didn't do anything." They went out, and then my teacher came back. The teacher that was like very like posh and like he was always very like focused. And he just came in and he was like shaking his head, and like suddenly he was like, you know, when somebody just smells like beer so bad that you can smell it from like 10 miles away, and then they tell you, "I didn't drink anything. I'm not drunk. No." Then it's very hard to believe them. The funny thing was that this teacher just imitated Thomas being drunk, and everyone was just like, did he just break character?
Welcome home, Thomas.
So I think the next story happened when I was in 10th grade. I had this chemistry teacher that was just super fixed on his subject, and he would like never stray at all, and it was very hard at all to like distract the teacher. I had this one guy in my class who was very, I don't know, intelligent or something. So while we were still at school, he would already take courses at the university nearby, and he would always like drive back and forth with his bike. And this one time we had like chemistry class from outside. We hear like this. We were like, okay, this guy, let's call him Matt. So Matt was approaching, we all knew. And then we hear it like bang at the door, like he swung the door open, and his whole face was just red, and he was angry, and my teacher was already like, what's happening? And then he screamed with this 100% seriousness in his face. He was like, "A grandma just called me an asshole." The entire class just burst out laughing. My teacher as well, he could not stop laughing. It was the only time that he would stray from his lesson at all. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments down below or through the like button so I know whether or not you want to see more videos like this. This is my awesome friend Eleni. She's my biggest fan. You cannot top her, really. Every time she sees me, she says the following words.
I'm your biggest fan. Can I get an autograph?
You see what I mean? She's so cute. So you can follow this amazing girl on Instagram. Feel free to follow us both on our social medias. You'll find all the links down below. 3, 2, 1.
Be blessed.
See you next week. Bye. Now what would go great with this? What? Some coffee. Because it's Crazeful's coffee corner. Ba-dum.